can anyone hear me? Um, Welcome to the third attempt at Starship Flight 10. Today we don't have live views as Airplane Specialist is on vacation, I think. He does have a friend taking care of the pad camera, so he did left the GoPros there and hopefully we'll get some cool shots. We actually placed them in strategic places to get some cool views, some wide angles, some a bit more closer to the pad backside, all of that. So we're gonna have some very cool footage to share, hopefully soon, a few days after the flight. So let's get right into here, because SpaceX is gonna start live streaming in a little bit. So for those that don't know, today's the 10th flight of Starship. They're going to be not reusing the Super Heavy booster because they want to perform experiments. They want to gather more data on that booster landing profile. And in this case, it's not more about the profile. It's going to be more about engine backup. So they're gonna when they light all 13 Raptor engines, and then instead of going down to 3, they're going down to center 2, and then using one engine from the middle ring as to simulate kind of a backup, just to, have more data to work with for the next generation Block 3 boosters. So that's going to be very cool. Today, we are also going to have see here if I can show here. I released this render on X or Twitter, whatever you want to call it, earlier today, so you can go check that out in full quality. But yeah, we're going to have some Starlink simulators. By the way, this is version block 1 of Starship. I haven't modeled V3 yet, but soon enough. So we'll have 8 demo Starlinks being deployed. And this is all to test the payload dispenser that's going to eventually shoot out the next generation version 3 minis. Version 3, I get used to calling V2 minis, but no, these are not V2 minis. These are similar in size to the upcoming version 3 satellites. So yeah, hopefully we're gonna see that today if everything goes well. Along with that, another in-space relight of a Raptor engine is planned, and that is just so that they can practice deorbiting, because right now Starship doesn't go to orbit necessarily, but it will eventually go to orbit, so they need to then deorbit, of course, to get back to land, so testing that capability right now on suborbital suborbital missions. It's less risky, so if something happens, they're in a suborbital trajectory. So if anything goes wrong, at least you have a decent backup. But again, this is all in preparation for orbital flight in the future of Starship. Along with that, several experiments will be conducted on the ship right here. So that will be several heat tiles. Actually, I can take a look here. Several tiles have been removed, as you can see here. Yeah. It's not a very wide shot, again, courtesy of Airplane Specialist working with us here. A lot of tiles have been removed from the ship, and those were removed in strategic places so that they can gather more data about the heat shield. And along with that, they are also going to test a few metallic tiles, including one which has regenerative cooling. So if you basically don't know what that is, you can kind of think of it in the liquid rocket engines, where you cool down the nozzle using I think it's oxygen that they use. So you kind of have all of these like pipes going around the nozzle. They run a fluid through there to kind of cool off the engine, to not have the the nozzle literally melt off. So yeah, it's kind of the same concept in tiles, on these upcoming tiles, if they do plan to use that. I'm not sure exactly how it will work, but I assume like around the tile structure there will be some regen channels where that fluid can pass, and I believe they're going to be using oxygen or methane. I'm not sure. So yeah, that'll be exciting, and hopefully today, ship 37. By the way, the vehicles for today, the ship will be ship 37, and booster will be booster 16. Ha ha ha! F-16 reference. I know. That's I know Space Twitter will get that. Let me just make sure that everything on the stream is working fine. Today's weather is looking decent. We went from 45 to, I believe, 55% favorable. And I believe it's just a cloud there that's kind of skewing the launch site. So hopefully that gets out as soon as we hit T0. So as we get into the countdown, you might see some events popping up down there. These are all related to fueling operations, so the pre-launch stuff. Oh my god, I'm already getting Twitter notifications. Anyways, I don't know when SpaceX is starting the live stream. So let me refresh here. Oh yeah, they're starting. So yeah, let's take a look. Give me a second. There we go. Hope I don't get copyrighted. Here we go, Starship Flight 4. Yeah, it's the fourth flight for version 2, so let's hope this goes well. Oh my god, come on. I think we can remove the down. Oh my god, please. Hold on, let me refresh this again. Every time I want the most updated, please. I need it. Oh, here we go. Hold on. Let me actually just mute the intro real quick, because this got a copyright in the previous stream, so yeah. Here we go. Cheers, everyone. Stay hydrated. Nice to see a custom Starship intro. I feel that they are going this time. And I'll turn on. Here we go.
Hello and welcome to Starbase Texas, or what we here at SpaceX like to call the Gateway to Mars. I'm Amanda Lee, a build reliability engineer at SpaceX.
And I am Dan Hewitt with SpaceX
Yeah,
Communications.
the goats
Everybody,
are
welcome
back.
back to
Here we
Starbase.
go.
If you've been following along, today is going to mark the third attempt to get our 10th Starship flight test off the ground. First one was back on Sunday. We stood down then to troubleshoot an issue with some of our ground systems, had a leaky hose. We replaced that, got to our attempt yesterday, lost our battle with the weather gods and some anvil clouds in the area, but we're hoping the third time is the charm.
Yeah, fingers crossed for sure.
Yeah, so at the moment, we are actively loading propellant onto the vehicles. Our engineers are on console, monitoring the vehicle, all of the systems as we count down to liftoff. Prop load is underway. We are looking better on the weather this time, good on the range, and we are targeting the very beginning of our window at 6:30 p.m. Central Time. Our objectives for today, really with the ship, are going to look very similar to the last couple of launches, looking to deploy those Starlink simulator satellites, fly a whole bunch of experiments during Starship's reentry, testing the limits of its heat shield and its flaps. Ultimately, we want to see ship do controlled descent, soft splashdown in the Indian Ocean. That's really what we're looking for today. Regardless of the outcome, though, goal is always to collect as much data as possible. That gets us one step closer to a fully operational Starship.
That's right. And either way, flight tests guarantee the maximum level of excitement. And Starship will allow us to fly the heaviest payloads ever flown and ultimately fly humans further into space than ever before, even all the way to Mars, as we always talk about. Our progress here at SpaceX is measured by getting closer to establishing a self-sustaining civilization on Mars, and these are the flights that are forging that path.
That's right. Now, a whole bunch has happened to get us to this 10th flight test. We're not going to go all the way back to the beginning, but we're going to start with Starship's 9th flight test, which lifted off in May. That one did end with what we call a rapid unscheduled disassembly, or a RUD, on both the ship and booster. Let's take a quick trip back.
So Flight 9 marked the first reflight of a Super Heavy booster. We saw successful hot staging and the first ever deterministic flip, which gives us extra performance. The reused booster was flown at a much higher angle of attack to push the envelope on capabilities. This did end up causing some internal structural failure, eventually leading to a rapid unscheduled disassembly at landing burn.
Ship, though, continued its ascent. While it was going, though, we saw pressure dropping in the main fuel tank, rising in the nose cone. In this view, you can see pop, the fuel diffuser inside the pressurization system. We had a hole develop. The ship still managed to complete its ascent burn, got to its planned velocity, got to second stage engine cutoff. Really huge moment.
After that, though, we did run into some issues with attitude control, which eventually led us to skipping the payload deploy and Raptor relight demos. Starship eventually re-entered the atmosphere in an off-nominal attitude, and communication was unfortunately lost approximately 46 minutes into the flight test during entry, but not before we got one heck of a light show.
That's right. Looking forward to another one today. The booster RUD, we went back and looked at it. That was caused we had a much higher than predicted forces on the booster structure, really honing in on that internal fuel transfer tube inside. That was all due to that angle of attack experiment we were running for today's flight and any of the remaining ones on this version of the booster. We're just lowering the angle of attack for the booster as it comes in, relaxes those forces, minimizes the likelihood that we see that kind of structural failure.
Yeah, and then over on the ship side, we redesigned the part of the fuel pressurization system that failed on Flight 9. We put it through a more rigorous test campaign and subjected it to flight-like stresses, and eventually we were able to actually run it for more than 10 times the expected service life with no damage, which was super exciting. Yeah. Our goal is always, of course, to make it through all of the objectives we set, but any result that teaches us more about Starship performing in the real-world environment helps us to make those targeted iterations and improve quickly.
That's kind of been the secret to our success. That's how we developed Falcon 1, our first rocket. That's how we developed Falcon 9, which we've already flown more than 100 times just this year. A little insane. And 500 flights overall.
Yeah, super exciting for Falcon 9. And again, we're trying to follow their lead and launch, learn, and repeat.
Yeah. So we finished Flight 9. We were getting ready for Flight 10. And if you followed along, we originally had a different ship number 36, that was slated to fly on Flight 10. But that experienced a pretty major anomaly during its static fire test out at our Massey's test site. We were actually in its second static fire, a 6-engine. We were loading cryogenic propellant on board. We saw a sudden energetic event, complete loss of Starship, damage to the stand, and some of the immediate area surrounding it.
The most likely root cause that we were able to identify was undetectable or under-screen damage to a composite overwrapped pressure vessel, or COPV, in Starship's payload base section. To address this probable cause, we are operating the COPVs on Starship at a lower pressure and also implemented
getting real,
additional
bro.
proofs and inspection methods.
Meanwhile, though, got to maintain our launch schedule, got to keep testing, so we pivoted to actually using the launch pad, the same one we're stacked on right now, to do ship static fire tests, something we had never done before. A retrofit was the fastest path to get back to flying. The team was able to engineer, implement a solution. We used a ship transport ring, sawed some stuff off, welded some stuff on. We're able to mount the ship,
Weld
load
some
propellant
stuff
using
on, yeah.
what we
Just do
usually use
that.
for the booster, and
That's
then do
SpaceX
two
for ya.
different static fires on that orbital launch mount, doing that in a matter of weeks.
Yeah, it was really an incredible turnaround to see. And the static fires did give us the data we needed to progress to launch and are a prime example of our engineer and technician teams working together to build creative solutions to keep us charging forward to bring Starship online.
Even while we did all of that, we're still in the process of rebuilding that Massey's test site. That's where we want to continue testing our ships in the future, and we're getting it ready for that next generation of Starship version 3.
Yeah, very excited. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah.
Okay, back to the rocket on the pad currently. Starship is the first orbital launch vehicle engineered to be fully reusable. It's built for frequent flights and a significant amount of payload.
It is the largest rocket ever made, ever flown, largest flying object in human history. It's going to be the vehicle that enables our foundational mission to eventually bring humans to Mars. I recently, just yesterday, got a chance to do a deep dive into kind of everything big picture Starship. Had some special guests, Elon Musk and Bill Riley. Let's take a look back. We're about to launch the largest flying object ever made, but this isn't on the radar for everybody, and we know that. So we want to kind of take a beat, pull back, do a little bit of Starship 101. To do that, I've got some special guests crashing the webcast today. Joining me now in Star Factory, Elon Musk, Chief Engineer at SpaceX, Bill Riley, our VP of Starship Engineering. Thanks for being here, guys. I know we got a rocket about to get off the pad, but let's start people off like high level. Like, why are we here? What the hell are we doing here?
Well, I don't know about everybody, but I'm here to try to build into the future that I imagined and dreamed of as a child, where starships with people are out among the stars exploring the universe.
Yeah, so the why, it's always important to explain the why of things. And the why of Starship is that we want to be a multi-planet species to extend consciousness beyond Earth, I think for two main reasons. One is to ensure the long-term survival and prosperity of life as we know it in consciousness, which if we are a multi-planet species and ultimately a multistellar species out there among the stars, the probability of survival is much, much longer. That's kind of the, defensive aspect or life insurance for life collectively. But then there also need to be things that are inspiring and exciting and that give you reason to live. Life cannot just be about solving one tragic problem after another. There must be also reasons to get up in the morning and be excited about the future. And a future where we are a space-faring civilization is infinitely more exciting than one where we are not.
And we're doing it all pretty unique location. I mean, the pad's behind us. We got rocket on the tower. We got another tower with it. We're sitting inside Star Factory. And I mean, it wasn't like this for very long. This is all pretty brand new.
Yeah, I think we moved Starship here in about the early part of 2019. So we've been coming that entire time and seeing the site evolve from a double wide trailer and a tent where we built Starhopper to the first suborbital test flights. And now we have behind us 2 towers for the first time as we build towards the first operational flight from the second tower at the end of this year. And this beautiful building, 1,000,000 square feet, where we're able to work towards a production line of Starships.
Yeah, the SpaceX team has done an incredible job of building out really the most advanced rocket manufacturing facility that has ever existed. This is far beyond any rocket fabrication facility that has ever been built. This is essentially alien-level technology, and it was all built here basically down by the Rio Grande River and close to the beach. It's an incredibly improbable location, and this used to be a sandbar. I think we're about, 3 feet or about 1 meter above sea level. it really was nothing. If you see the time lapse from sandbar to
Oh, look at
two
that.
launch
That's
towers,
lines on the-
and a gigantic
the
rocket
left
factory
side.
with high bays, and we're going to be building something called the Gigabay, which is like one of the largest enclosed volumes on Earth. So it's sort of like a gigantic Borg cube that we're going to be building here for building and storing these gigantic rockets. It's really spectacular, and anyone can come and visit. So because we're on a public highway, and we're literally by a public beach, you can actually come and see the rocket. You quite close up. I mean, you can drive past it, and you can also look at the factory. And anyone can do this from anywhere in the world. So if you can come and visit and check it out. So I think it's pretty cool that it's
Just not right now.
just not right now.
Just not right
Obviously not when we're launching because there's some safety issues, but the rocket's often just sitting on the pad without any propellant in it, and then you can just come here and visit. It's very easy.
Yeah, I think it's a really special place. Yesterday, the ship went down the road behind us, and I saw families outside going for on Sunday, going for their Sunday stroll, and they were greeted by Starship going down. And I think that from the very beginning, the thing about Starship, different than Falcon and other rockets that I'm aware of, is we designed it to be mass-produced and mass-produced at scale. And it's not about building one Starship and getting to orbit once. It's about doing it in a sustained and rapid way.
Yeah, we're aiming for ultimately thousands of ships to be built per year.
Yeah, so this is just
which is what's
basically
needed
what
in order
they
to
did yesterday.
construct a city on
So
Mars
let
that
me
is
see if you guys
self-sustaining.
have questions.
And the major fork in the
No, we'll
road
just
of
proceed.
destiny will be when the Mars city is capable of surviving, even if the resupply ships from Earth stop coming for any reason. And that reason could be something cataclysmic, or it could be that that civilization simply subsided.
We just had
There's always this debate throughout
booster
history of will
locks
civilization
load
end with
underway
a bang or a whimper. But
at
either way,
35 minutes and 52 seconds.
the critical
though.
thing is to get to the
As you can
point
see
where
from the
Mars is
frost line
self-sustaining
on the
and
left
can
side,
survive
not the
even
right
if the
side,
resupply
because
ships
that's
stop coming
previously
for any
recorded.
reason.
On the left
Which means
side, you
that
can
need
see
to
those
build an
frost
entire
lines
base of
on the
industry on
booster
Mars
start to build
in
up,
order for
and all of that
Mars to
venting,
survive.
residual
For example, it's not
venting
simply
at the ground.
enough to build a chip
It's all about
like a computer
no,
chip
not
factory,
purging,
but you need the
whatever.
ability to
Residual.
build computer chip factories. So this is going to really take a lot of tonnage. I mean, my guess is at least 1 million tons to the surface of Mars, and maybe it takes less than that, but it's going to be a lot. But this is a very exciting future. It's one which will ensure the long-term survival and prosperity of life and consciousness, and it's the critical stepping stone to get from this solar system to other star systems, and perhaps go out there and explore, and perhaps we'll encounter alien civilizations that maybe they're alive now, or maybe they enjoyed a period of prosperity for millions of years, but also died out millions of years ago. So it's humbling to think of the age of the universe, according to the standard model of physics, being approximately 13.8 billion years old. So an incremental million years would be 3 digits past the decimal point. And if you look at, say, our civilization and measure our civilization by the first evidence of writing, which is about 5,500 years ago, civilization as measured from the first writing is only 1/1,000,000th of Earth's existence.
Or blip.
Yeah. Flash in
Yeah.
the pan so far.
Yeah. Well, we're getting some cool shots. Rocket out on the pad right now. We tell people, like, come down, see it. It's hard to get, like, a sense of scale of just how massive this thing is. And we were able to catch somebody working on it a little while ago. And, like, part of the reason you said we're sending millions of tons, that's kind of why this thing
I
is
think
so
in this
massive
image,
as it
Dan, you
is.
can actually see the person working at the bottom of the ship, and as we zoom out, you see the full ship, that sort of two-tone silver and black, and then the booster below it, right? And it really sets the scale, which doesn't come across, I think, other than in person. And when I do tours, I like to say Starship is real, Starship is big, and Starship is really big. And I think you can see
Starship
there,
is Starship.
and with the factory shots you saw earlier, again, we've got Flight 10 on the pad, but we got many more behind it.
Yeah, so there's,
Oh my
I
God,
posted a
this
video
headphone.
yesterday
These
of
headphones
just
are
a
broken.
brief scan of part of the Starship factory, and you can get a
my
sense of
God.
the scale of the factory. And yeah, I guess we could talk a bit about why Starship is the way it is. Like, for example, why is half of the ship black and half of it is silver colored? And that's because the bottom half of the ship, the bottom as
By
seen
the way,
from
this doesn't
orbital
seem like
entry
technical thing,
has
and I
a heat
believe
shield on
this
it.
is
So
not
the
their
black there
technical.
is the
Their technical like update, but it's just to get general people interested in Starship and knowing better, and like getting the general public to know it better. So yeah,
the heat of atmospheric entry and the heat of the
camera,
rocket
please turn on.
engines
Thank you.
is enough to easily melt aluminum, but steel is much more resilient against both ascent heating, but especially the re-entry heating. And you don't have to paint it, which is actually very difficult to paint a large object that is going through cryogenic cycles and have the paint stay on. It's quite challenging.
And so
That
we've
just
talked about
proves they're
it's
not
massive.
going to
It obviously
paint
takes
that,
a whole lot of
except
energy to
probably
make
for
that thing
HLS.
move. And that's where Raptor really starts to come in. Most advanced engine on the planet. Giant
Yes.
lightsaber.
No, that's a lightsaber and a half. You would get vaporized in an instant if you were standing in front of Raptor. So, yeah, burnt to a crisp in less than a second. So, yeah. So, in order to create a fully reusable orbital rocket, you have to advance the state of the art in every part of the rocket.
Is that
means
like,
the engines have to be better than any engine ever.
retention
The structure's got to be better than any
venting,
structure ever.
like
You've got to
up, down under the OLM.
you've got to have a means of bringing the rocket back to the launch pad. You've got to have a fully reusable orbital heat shield, and that no one has ever made a fully reusable orbital heat shield. The space shuttle, for example, required
Next up is 19 minutes. We'll
9
have
months of
Raptor chill
refurbishment
begin on
between
booster
flights.
and
So
ship.
the space shuttle heat shield would come back essentially.
So basically, you can imagine some propellant flowing, not propellant, but like just a little bit of propellant without an ignition flows through the engine, so they can just condition all the parts and make sure they're working correctly. Like, that's the easiest way to do it.
And the
Getting Twitter
booster would be
notifications
placed
over here.
immediately back on the launch stand, and the ship's got to orbit Earth at least once, but then could be back potentially in one orbit, but in most cases several orbits. So the ship would come back several hours later, but then be caught by the arms and placed on top of the booster. You could also have multiple ships ready so that a single booster could service 5 or more ships, so that you could be flying the booster in theory, every hour. This is kind of a profoundly fast speed, obviously, for the largest flying object by far ever made. But it's the reason why we catch the tower. We catch the booster with the tower arms, and the ship also will be caught with the tower arms, because that's the fastest way to get the booster and the ship back to flight. If we had instead put landing legs, which we have done before for the ship tests, we actually had landing legs that flipped down, and the ship we've successfully demonstrated landing with legs. But if you do that, if we were to do that with the booster and the ship, here we'd have to land somewhere else with the legs, then lift the rocket, stow the legs, transport the rocket back to the pad, which is very unwieldy when you've got a gigantic thing. Then it would be picked up by these tower arms and placed in the launch mount. That would delay the reusability dramatically and would add a lot of mass with the landing legs. So that's why we catch the rocket with the tower arms, because it's the same tower arms that put the rocket in the launch mount are used to catch the rocket. And that means that we can put the booster back in the launch mount in less than an hour after liftoff. In fact, the booster is going to come back very fast. Like, 5 or 6 minutes later, this booster is coming back one way or another, or not coming back.
Not on this one.
So then you really have propellant full time, which can be brought down to about 30, 40 minutes. And that means it is theoretically possible to fly the booster again in less than an hour.
I think when I think about it, it's the jet drives up to the jetway, the people get off, new people get on, and it leaves. You don't want to land the jet on a different airfield and then tow it over to the jetway. So it's just operationally simpler and faster.
Yeah, we've had a lot of success with the booster, 3 for 3 on the catch attempts. When we bring it back, we've reflown one, so awesome. And then again, Starship Superpowers, the whole thing is reusable. So ship reusability is like what we're working on right now. We've been able to get some really spectacular reentries on a couple of flights, hoping to get this one for reentry on the V2 ship. But yeah, that fully reusable heat shield, that thing that has just never been done before. That's one of the things we're really looking for.
Shout out Marcus House.
Yeah, I mean, there are thousands of engineering challenges that remain for both the ship and the booster, but
he's gonna quote, right? Yeah, I know he's gonna
maybe
quote.
The single biggest one is the reusable orbital heat shield. We are confident in making a fully reusable orbital heat shield, but it will require many flights, many iterations to figure out where the weak points are in the heat shield, where we need to change the design.
Venting, let's
either
go.
strengthening the
Cross
tile
line on the booster, bigger, growing by the second.
how big the gap is between tiles.
Unit of time.
Changing what's underneath the tile. There's a 100 different variables that
you
we
guys
could
think that
tweak,
ship 37 will be the redeemer?
The ship tiles,
the one on the
sheet
flight.
shield tiles.
I really hope so.
But the only way to know exactly what we should
not
be
gonna lie, the
adjusting
lighting
is,
on
fly
the
repeatedly
previous
and be
attempt,
able to
which is the
examine
one
ship,
on the right,
upon
looks
landing.
way better.
And we have successfully brought the ship back through the atmosphere and achieved a soft landing multiple times. So we know that this is possible, but we have in the process shed
Marcus
many,
House, thanks
heat
for
shield
quoting
tiles. So we need to be able
tweet.
to do this without
Thank
shedding
you.
heat shield tiles, and do so repeatedly.
And I think what you're seeing now is the Starship. This is CG of it coming in and landing on the tower, much like the booster, but there's some additional challenges there where we need to make sure we don't scrape the tiles off as we slide along the chopstick
We can't
arms.
shuck the heat shield.
Don't crush the ship.
Rapid reusability.
If we shuck the tiles, then that's obviously going to fail the reusability test.
So ships can use the tower to land and catch, like the booster here on Earth where towers are available. And for our initial landings on Mars and other planets, we'll need landing legs that deploy much like what you're seeing here with Ship 15. when we did our suborbital
SN15,
test
bro.
to
It's
prove
not
out the
ship.
precision descent landing.
It was only changing a certain
which was
point.
a
It still
successful
counts
test
as
we actually landed
SN.
to. One was we were able to
Serial
actually
number,
recover it,
by
and
the
it's
way.
you can see it here in the Rocket Garden if you visit Starbase.
Yeah, so the Rocket Garden that Bill mentioned, we have actually a whole bunch of boosters and ships, and we'll be adding to them over time, so you can see an evolution of Starship.
They're
just
not
by driving
scrapping
down
them
the highway.
all.
Yeah.
Told you
So,
guys. Guess them
Reusability is key. There's some other technologies we're still looking to prove out.
Space
really
Twitter.
big one is going to be the on-orbit refilling. Looking to do that next year, and that's really what's going to kind of unlock, Starship going everywhere else, going everywhere,
Stay hydrated,
everywhere
y'all.
beyond Earth, and that's something that's again never been done before. Kind of like that reusable orbital heat shield, but it's going to be something that's kind of some of the other secret sauce to Starship, where we're going to be able to send hundreds of tons per ship to Mars.
Yeah, I like to think
Starship
of it as if
alone
we get
could
to orbit
not,
with a
like,
full
even-
cargo bay, but we're
Even
on
okay.
oxygen. So basically,
Even if Starship was 10 times bigger than it is right now, it could not get to Mars by itself because you got to also account for the vehicle and the hardware's mass. So the easiest way is just to get a tanker on orbit, refill it, and then go. Like, that's like the easiest way, literally.
To demonstrate
So
next year is this orbital refilling, much like aerial refueling. It's essential for being able to send significant payload to Mars. So you essentially send a ship to orbit with a few hundred tons of payload, sort of a filled payload bay. But once it gets to orbit, the tanks will be mostly empty, and then you send up additional tanker ships to refill the Mars ship's tanks, so that it can thrust from Earth orbit to Mars and have enough propellant left for landing. So this is orbital refilling is also not something that's ever been demonstrated before. So that would be a brand new technology. We obviously have at SpaceX figured out how to dock repeatedly with the space station. So in a lot of ways, this is like docking, and in some ways it's easier in that SpaceX is docking with its own craft, but no one has ever demonstrated propellant transfer in orbit, to the best of our knowledge, and so this would be propellant transfer at a very large scale. And,
yeah, that's true.
But with full reusability and propellant transfer, those are the key technologies needed for building a city on Mars. And I'm confident that the SpaceX team, which is incredibly talented, will achieve these goals. And we will be landing ships on Mars in the future and building life on Mars, building greenhouses and life on Mars, and ensuring the long-term survival of life as we know it. And it's important to note here that obviously, we are effectively stewards of life here on Earth. That the other creatures cannot build spacecraft and get to other planets. So if there
Weather's
were to be a
looking better,
cataclysmic
I
event,
guess.
like a giant meteor that destroyed the dinosaurs, or ultimately the sun will expand to envelop Earth and destroy all life. We know this is an undisputed fact. Then if we don't take life to another planet, life will be destroyed. So it's incumbent upon us to ensure that we do bring life to other planets and ensure the long-term survival of life as we know it on planet Earth.
And I mean, aside from that, there's so much that Starship unlocks by being able to do these things. Like, we'll be able to go to Mars, but there are other just transformational things by being able to take that many people, that much stuff to space for that much less money.
Yeah, I mean, I think like understanding our planet better, being able to move people around the planet, make it feel smaller and more accessible. You could go anywhere on the Earth, in less than 40 minutes, basically, in terms of flight time. So I really do see Starship as being this thing that can connect us, just like Starlink connects our information. This can connect us more physically.
Yeah. So there's really nothing faster than a rocket. Really, an orbital rocket is the fastest thing that we know of of the fastest means of transport. So, like, you could go from LA to Sydney in less than half an hour. You could go LA to Tokyo in less than half an hour. You could go from New York to Singapore in half an hour. Everything's probably half an hour, basically. Some things might be 10 minutes.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, yeah, sign me up for that, please. All right, cool.
Cross the Atlantic in 10 minutes, no problem.
Please, yes, sign me up.
You're going 25 times the speed of sound, so that's 30 times faster than a commercial aircraft.
And it's a whole hell of a lot better view.
Yeah, it's a hell of a view.
Yeah. All right, cool. Anything else, guys? Anything else?
Well,
you're really excited
we
about
could
coming
say
out?
a lot more.
Yeah.
Maybe we should go check in on the rocket
Yeah.
and get on
All right,
console.
we're going to go back on console to hopefully the weather supports a launch tonight. Yeah, thanks for tuning in, and yeah, thanks for your support.
All right. Obviously, that was really cool. There's probably not anybody else cooler on the planet to talk Starship with. Still very ready to sign up for that point-to-point travel, too. Also, though, it's really hard to relay just how much power is being generated by these engines on
Almost
this
like
rocket. We
Flight
try to compare it
6
to something like a little bit closer
weather.
to home for people.
Nice.
We've used an airplane a lot of times. That's just something a little more tangible to folks.
Yeah, if you were to stack Starship up against one of the biggest airplanes out there today, the 747, just one Raptor engine is double the thrust of all 4 airplane engines. Super crazy to think about. And the Super Heavy on the pad right now, which has 33 Raptor engines, is putting out as much power as about 64 747s.
Yeah, it's, again, just a tremendous amount of power.
Crazy.
World's largest flying object. It's crazy. And again, that was really cool to just go through that. I love to geek out as much as everybody else over all the nitty gritty, but always important to remember there's a lot of people that just don't know that all of this is happening. So it's cool to remind them, cool for everybody else out there to help us spread that word.
Yeah.
All right. So right now we are 17 minutes, 12 seconds and counting until the 10th Starship flight test. While we do have a moment, though, let's check in over with Tyler Lionquist over in Hawthorne for the latest on Starlink. How's it going, Tyler?
Thanks, Dan and Amanda. I'm Tyler Lionquist, and I'm a Starlink business analyst here at SpaceX. Starlink is SpaceX's low Earth orbit, high-speed internet that's bringing connectivity both on Earth and in space. Now, for today's mission, Starship is outfitted with 4 Starlink terminals, allowing us to get live views of ship while in orbit and all the way down to splashdown in the Indian Ocean. Our Starlink satellites are built in Redmond, Washington, which is also where we monitor the health of the entire constellation. So let's take a quick look for more on Redmond.
Yeah, it's just the same clip.
What a lot of
they
people
showed.
might not realize when they think about the scale that we're operating is that actually 2/3
Yeah,
of
it's
the
crazy.
operational
It's
satellites in orbit
crazy.
are Starlink satellites. And then all of those Starlink satellites came from right here in Redmond.
Dude, these manufacturing like videos go so hard, and like especially it's like
We've currently got a
space
constellation
flight
of
related
over 8,000
hardware, so it
satellites
goes
that are
like
flying around in
even
orbit.
like
So they're
3
working together
billion
to fill out
times
the whole surface of the Earth,
more
make sure
harder than
everywhere
it would
can
be.
have service. So we have these
Oh,
laser
the
links
direct-
that are connected between the
Yeah.
satellites, so each satellite can pass data from one to the other. That is what allows us to have these hundreds of gigabit links between satellites, and that's what allows us to connect every corner of the Earth to high quality, high speed, low latency internet.
Crazy, bro. Crazy technology.
When you think about that Starlink that you have at home, the technology that's in there and that's in your antenna is very similar to the antenna that's on the satellite. We use what are called phased array antennas, which is a fancy way of describing an antenna that's made up of many little antennas that work together in order to direct their energy to a specific spot on the ground without a motor.
Okay. Without a motor.
Generally, satellite manufacturing is a very slow process. It takes people weeks or months to build a
Holy crap.
satellite.
Look at that. Oh, this is right. This is for the
At
satellite.
SpaceX, we
Oh,
iterate
even
very
better.
fast, and we have learned how to build satellites at the 70 sats a week rate. As we have focused a lot on production rate, we have not forgotten about our satellite reliability, which is critical to our mission.
If you look at the whole world and you ask, where is the satellite industry? It's right here in the USA, in Redmond, where the vast majority of satellites being built are being built right here. Starlink is a truly game-changing technology, and it's all supported by the global satellite
Wow,
constellation
it's
of this
crazy.
space here in Redmond. And we're really just getting started at the very beginning of what we want to do with Starlink.
Dude, that's crazy. Wow.
Now, as we
okay.
mentioned earlier in the show, one of today's objectives is for SHIP to deploy Starlink simulator satellites that represent the advanced V3 satellites Starship will be launching in the future. And as you can see here, once Starship reaches a nominal orbit,
Yeah.
the payload door will slowly begin to open to prepare for deployment. The Starlink satellites will
Hopefully
be
this
dispatched
time it will
relatively
work.
quickly, one at a time, like a Pez dispenser, as you can see on your screen. They'll be situated in one long stack, taking up as little space as possible, allowing for an efficient deployment sequence. Once a set of Starlinks are deployed, the next set advances and deploys until they are all drifting away from Starship to prepare for their
interesting.
on-orbit life.
Weren't they
Each
like
Starlink V3 launch
deploying
on
in
Starship
two
is
pairs?
planned to add 60 terabits per second of capacity to the Starlink network. That's more than 20 times the capacity added with every V2 mini launch on Falcon 9. So we're talking about a massive increase in performance all around, which will ultimately enable Starlink to serve as the communications backbone of the missions to the moon and to Mars. So for now, we're going to turn it back over to the team at Starbase.
Thank you so much, Tyler. Okay, let's turn our attention to today's flight profile, which will feel familiar because it is. We're looking to get our first re-entry with this iteration of SHIP, and we're again intentionally stressing Super Heavy during its return. The next generation booster is on the horizon, so the objective is to push and learn all we can from this current version.
All right, let's jump right in. As always, it's going to start with liftoff. Super Heavy ignites 33 engines lifting off from Starbase and ascending. It's going to power that ascent for about 2.5 minutes until we get to hot stage separation. Super Heavy shuts down all but 3 engines, deeply throttles the remaining ones, stage 2 lights its, and flies away. We have stage
Outstaging.
separation, a directional flip. It's going to descend. We're going to do some landing burn experiments and then do a splashdown in the Gulf.
Meanwhile, SHIP continues on with its ascent burn, again reaching a planned suborbital trajectory. We'll attempt to deploy 8 Starlink simulator satellites and then head back for re-entry, where we'll be testing multiple experiments, including missing tiles, metallic tiles, and intentionally loading the vehicle's flaps. Ship will also attempt a flip maneuver, and if all goes as planned today, we'll conclude the test with a saltwater splashdown in the Indian Ocean. So that's what we have on deck for Flight 10, which is just about 11 minutes, 40 seconds from launching.
That's right. And so just a quick status check-in. So as you said, we're about 11 and a half minutes away. We have some good news. We got our latest range and weather status.
Yeah, it's looking good.
Surprise, everything is looking green today.
Yeah.
So that is,
oh my God.
That's the biggest news
go.
that we were looking for. Again, weather is the main watch item for today, but we are green right now. We're not tracking any issues with the vehicle or ground systems.
Oh, look
so
at that. Oh, those fancy graphics. I miss them so much.
All of our normal pre-flight checkouts.
Oh, look at all those green.
All the
go,
different
go,
vehicle
go,
and pad systems. At this very moment, we're almost done, or we're pretty far into our prop load on
yeah,
ship.
They're almost loading.
Hold
on, they haven't started loading the headers on the ship.
Looking closely, it looks like we're nearly closed out on ship, like Dan said, about 70% of the way through on both methane and LOX on the booster side. We'll continue loading prop for a while. We'll close out at about T minus 30 minutes, 20 seconds on ship, and then 30 seconds later, we'll finish up loading prop on the booster.
Yeah, so bottom line, a little over 10 minutes to go. Range is green, weather is green, vehicles looking healthy. We're looking good to launch right at the top of our window at 6:30 p.m. Central Time.
Can't wait. All right, now let's quickly talk about Mars, since everything we do is part of our foundational mission to get to the Red Planet. Each Starship launch is to learn more and more about what's needed to make life multiplanetary and to improve ship.
This countdown is kind of iffy because it sometimes blocks. That must be like the system that they are using to be able to transmit, like to get the data from the mission control and then relay onto the stream. I'm gonna restart this because I want to get the most. Yeah.
2028 to 2029, we're going to attempt to land the initial infrastructure and start delivering more equipment as well, while evaluating available resources on the Red Planet. And we will also have Optimus on board for the ride, who is designed to do the initial heavy lifting.
Looks like we're doing some flap checkouts real quick on the ship as we are coming up on 9 minutes.
Yes.
Back to Mars, though, as those wrap up by about 2030, 2031, we'll continue to increase the payload per ship, build out more infrastructure out there on Mars's surface, start to mine some of those resources, set up some propellant generation plants.
Insane. Now I'm feeling it. I don't know why.
To send starships
now I'm feeling
Mars.
it.
By the time we get all the way to 2033, we're looking at double the amount of payload we're sending with each ship as we get closer and closer to building a self-sustaining presence on the Red Planet.
Yeah, definitely lots of exciting missions ahead of us, and these are going to be crucial to setting up what we'll need for humans to eventually inhabit the planet, and we won't be doing this alone. The Italian Space Agency and SpaceX recently signed a first-of-its-kind agreement to carry Italian experiments on the first Starship missions to deliver customer payloads to Mars. So these payloads will include a plant growth experiment, a weather monitoring station, and also a radiation sensor to gather scientific data during Starship's approximately 6-month interplanetary coast phase from Earth to Mars, and also
8
on the Martian
minutes,
surface.
dude.
It's a really exciting mission. Make showing up for work.
We're going. Today's the day. Third time's the charm.
We're going to need to launch a whole lot more, though.
Oh my God.
While we're just under 8 minutes away from launch today, let's head back over to Tyler and Hawthorne, talk a little bit about how we're going to be increasing the number of Starship launches going forward. Tyler?
Thank you, Dan and Amanda. So to put it plainly, in order to launch more Starships, we need to build more launch pads. And that's exactly what we're doing at Space Launch Complex 37 at Cape Canaveral Space Force Station in Florida. Now, Pad 37 has a storied history, most recently with the Delta IV rocket and for the missions for the U.S. government. And prior to that, the pad supported critical development for the Apollo lunar program in the 1960s.
They're eating bananas. That's crazy.
To have the opportunity to continue making spaceflight history at Pad 37 with Starship. But first, we need to optimize the pad. So earlier this year, we started dismantling some of the existing infrastructure to prep the site for Starship operations. This will include up to 76 launches a year, with up to 152 landings at that location for Super Heavy and for Starship. And to support this flight rate,
Yay,
we plan on building
animation.
2 launch pads. Each will have 1 tower that can support launch and landing, plus deflector systems, launch mounts, and water deluge systems. This will also include a propellant farm that will produce
They have the
propellant on
QD.
site and serve
Yes,
both launch pads.
finally.
So
the
there
3D
is a
artist
lot
didn't
of work
forget
in
the
progress,
QD.
But Pad 37
Oh,
is
this
only
looks so
one part of our
cinema.
plan for Starship
Absolute
operations in Florida.
Yeah.
A few miles away from Pad
Giga Bay.
37 at Kennedy Space Center, our 380-foot-tall vertical integration facility called Giga Bay is under construction. Once complete next year, Giga Bay will be capable of housing multiple Starships simultaneously for rapid assembly and integration. And meanwhile, at Launch Complex 39A, we're building Starship's infrastructure to support up to 44 launches
Hold on, that
and up
can't
to
be an
88
animation.
landings a year, independent of operations at Pad 37.
They made
So
it
with
look
2
like a
launch
3D
complexes
animation.
in
Hold
Florida,
on.
we'll have the ability to fly
Is
up
this
to
an
120
animation, or is it
Starships
like-
annually, not including our flights from Starbase.
Cause like
So,
we have some
action
blurring
is
there.
well underway in Florida. How's it looking in Texas?
Maybe. I don't know.
Thanks, Tyler. Things are continuing to look good for launch here in Texas, so getting pretty close here with just under 6 minutes left. You mentioned Giga Bay. We're currently laying the foundation for Giga Bay here at Starbase as well, and we expect it to be up and running sometime next year. So yeah, there's a whole bunch of Starships on the way, and we're going to need more hands on deck. So come help us build the gateway to Mars. Visit spacex.com/careers to see all of our openings.
Yeah, I've been here for a couple of years now. Nowhere more magical, more inspirational on the planet. If you're a space nerd, you can come be like Amanda,
Yeah.
build these things for real. It's pretty insane. It's super exciting. And
I love
yeah,
Dan. He's
come
such a
check us
nerd.
out. All
He's
right.
such a nerd.
Absolutely,
I love
it's
him.
surreal to be here for sure. Okay, so we are looking like we're about 5 minutes away from launch and heading into terminal count. Range and weather are continuing to look good, and prop load continues on both stages of Starship. We'll close out here in just a minute or so.
Yeah, we're just about done. It looks like, let me grab my numbers real quick. We're not tracking any issues. We are just creeping up to 90% full on the locks on the booster, a little over 93% on ship, or sorry,
Today.
fuel on the booster, and then ship we're just about to close out, so only a couple of minutes to go there. Once we're done, you've got just shy of 11 million pounds of liquid propellant on board.
It's
those two
going.
different
Today's
stages.
the day, you guys.
We'll see a couple of
Let me
final
make sure
things
I'm on
happen.
full
Well,
quality.
can't really see it. It's all
Yeah.
going to be happening in our ground systems as we'll do pushbacks, clear all of the propellant out of those lines that are flowing up through the tower and into the vehicles, and get ready for launch. We just did our final guidance, navigation, and control system checkouts. Our flight safety system is being armed right now, and we're doing our final wiggle
FDS is
checks
armed.
shortly with the engines.
Oh my god, look at
on
the
thrust vector control
hippos
tower
all
steering the
nice and
rocket.
frosty.
If
on
we
the
need to
tank
hold,
farm.
which we are not currently tracking a reason to hold,
Subcoolers.
that would come at T-minus 40 seconds. You saw us do that yesterday. We can hang out there for about 8 minutes or so right now. That's the point. It's built into the countdown. If we need to wait for clouds that just
Oh,
won't
and
go
the air
heck
separation
away,
unit
or
right
any
there
other
to the left
issues,
of
we can
the
hang out at T-minus 40 for a bit.
of
But
the
at the
roundabout.
moment, we're not
That's
planning
cool.
to do that.
Nice.
Now,
nice
once we
progress.
pass that T-minus 40-second mark, a number of events are going to occur in rapid succession. The ground spin and ignition systems come up to flight pressure. Ship will switch over to internal power, and after that, the QD arm lockout is removed in preparation for retraction, which occurs shortly after T0. And once we pass that T-minus 40 seconds, we do still have the ability to then recycle the count under certain conditions back to T-minus 40 seconds and hold there to assess what happened, and if we can proceed again back down to liftoff.
That's right. We do have at least one point of no return, though. If the water-cooled flame deflector underneath the launch mount fires off, that happens a little bit after T-minus 10 seconds. That doesn't turn off once it starts going, so we would have to stand down for the day if we do hit a hold or an abort at that point,
Please,
so we can
just
refill
go.
water tanks.
You can do this.
At
You
this
will
point,
succeed. I believe in you.
We're not sure if we'd
Full
be able
stack.
to attempt tomorrow because we have fully loaded the vehicle.
Booster
we have to do a lot
16
of
and
fancy
ship
scheduling to get propellant in here
37.
as fast as
Guys
possible.
can do
But again,
this,
we've got a
please.
pretty heroic and
Booster
amazing team
16
that
and
works
ship
all of those
37. They're the
logistics, got us
goats.
into
They're
our
the
attempt
goats. They're
today
gonna
after
redeem
we did
block
a
2.
unplanned
Ship
wet dress
37 is
yesterday
gonna
during our
redeem block
attempt.
2.
So really exciting to see. But
Propellant
coming
loading
up on
is
2
completed.
minutes,
Let's go.
we've got a green range We are green for weather. Green has always been my favorite color, only more so now. And we are not tracking any issues with the vehicle today. So we are looking good. 2 minutes to go.
Here we go.
Yeah, again, not planning on holding at T-minus 40 seconds right now, but in case we do pass that and any issues come up, we can recycle the count. We're pretty lucky that we have this ability. Falcon doesn't have that built in, but being a developmental program, this affords us a lot more flexibility, so super useful to be able to have that. But again, not currently tracking any issues, so hopefully we'll be good to launch today.
Oh my
All right,
god,
coming
it's
up on
almost 1
90
minute. Let's go.
seconds. We've got a pretty good crowd gathering with us right outside Star Factory here at Starbase.
Yeah, look at that camera. Oh,
Looks
my
like we're getting a
favorite.
quick TVC, that wiggle check
It's my favorite view of the rocket.
right under
Yeah.
the launch mount.
True.
All right, so we've got crowds gathered out at Hawthorne, crowds gathered here at Starbase.
Super fun
Here
to
we
see people
go.
getting to
1
launch out
minute.
on the front lawn
Let's
now.
go. It's launching. Come on. Come on. You can do this.
1 minute to go to launch.
Oh my god. Okay, here we go. Here we go. 50.
All right, so again, our hold point comes up at T-minus 40, not tracking.
Ooh,
any
my
reason
heart
to
is
stop
racing.
there,
Here we
so
go.
We should see us go right through that.
Okay. Here we go.
All right, we are through T-minus 40. We are counting down. We're going to let our flight director, Maciek Batura, take us the rest of the way. 30 seconds. The
Go
10th
for launch. Here we go.
liftoff of Starship.
Here we go. Here we go. Please, please, please. Okay.
T-minus 15.
Okay, here we go.
T-minus 10.
Here we go.
9,
Here we go. Here we go.
8.
7, 6. 3D. Let's go. 3, 2, 1. Ignition.
We have liftoff.
Liftoff. Here we go. Flight 10. Here we go. Let's do this. Yes. So beautiful. What a beautiful day to launch. Let's go. Look at that beautiful shot. Yeah. Look at that. Beautiful. Look at those mock diamonds.
Booster chamber pressure nominal.
We did it. Now it's up. Yes. Oh my. One of my favorite. Look at that mock diamonds. 33 healthy Raptor engines.
We're a little over 40 seconds into flight. 33 out of
Booster and
33
ship,
Raptor
avionics
engines.
power and telemetry nominal.
Getting good call outs, healthy systems.
Max
on the
Q is
booster
coming
as it
up.
starts to pitch
Maximum
over the
dynamic
Gulf.
pressure. Oh, wow. Look at that. Look at
All
that
right, we're a little over 1
aerodynamic
minute
thing.
into
Look at
flight,
that.
about to
Oh
taxi
my god,
Max
shot
Q.
code from inside the rock.
Max Q.
Oh, that's so beautiful. Okay, here we go. The plume is starting to expand,
we are through
which
the
is
period of
as the
maximum
air
dynamic
gets
pressure, max
thinner,
stress
as the air
on the
density
vehicle
gets
as it
lower and
continues to
lower, the
fly.
plume has more
Our
space
next
to
major
expand.
event is going to be hot staging, which is happening in just over 90 seconds from now. To get
Oh
ready,
my
the
god, my
booster will
heart is
shut down
racing.
all but
Let's
3
do
of its
this.
Raptor engines. The clamps holding the 2 stages together will release, and the Starship second stage ignites its engines. The ship then separates from the Super Heavy booster and heads to space. At the same time, the
Looking
3
good.
engines still firing on Super Heavy
It's not
will
doing
flip the
the
booster
small
around.
little
10
maneuver
more
to get it
engines will ignite for
correct.
the boost
Yep,
back
there we
burn,
go.
putting the first stage on the path for splashdown in the Gulf. As we mentioned earlier, the hot stage will be jettisoned for this flight, and that should occur just after the boost back burn. So we're about to shut down the first stage and perform hot staging. So let's just
Now they're
watch and
getting
listen.
redirected in order to get a good separation. So you can see it's kind of rolling. That's planned. It's just getting aligned. So it's actually facing towards south? Yeah.
All right, seeing the engine start to throttle down.
Miko.
Okay, here we go. State separation.
Ship ignition.
Oh. There it is.
Boost back
Nice.
startup.
Nice hot staging. Yes. Nice. Ship 37. You got
Stage
this.
separation confirmed. We've got 6 engines running on ship. Booster is doing its boost back burn, continuing now towards its splashdown
Oh,
site
using
in
some
the Gulf.
RCS.
We are
Raptor
seeing
chamber
all 6
pressure is
Raptors
nominal.
lit up on ship.
Look at that. Look at that RCS. That's cool. That's cool.
You heard them report ship chamber pressures nominal, so that chamber pressure, just that expected thrust level in those Raptor engines on the ship.
Not gonna lie.
3 vacuum optimized, 3 C
avionics,
level,
power and
all
telemetry
looking
nominal.
good.
It kind of looks weird. It kind of looks like it's spinning the... No, not anymore. Let's go. Oh, look at that beautiful view.
There's a view into the business end from the ship.
Boost back burn
Oh,
shutdown.
it's looking pretty. There's some gases there. There we go. Boost backward shutdown. How's methane looking?
All right, so at this point, we finished our boost back burn, so that was shut down. So that's the first of the 2 burns after a launch that the booster is going to do today. So now it's headed towards the Gulf. It's not going to be quite as an aggressive of a flight down. We relaxed that angle of attack
Those
a little
beautiful
bit.
clouds. Oh
but
my
we are then going to
god.
be looking for it to do.
Oh, hot staging ring
its
is coming up
engine
next.
Tests for the landing burn, and those are going to be a little unique this time.
Yeah, typically we start with all 13 inner engines lit for that landing burn and bring that down to just the center 3. But one of our test objectives
my
for
God,
today
this
is
is
to
so
simulate
exciting.
what an engine out situation would look like. So we're going to be intentionally turning off one of those center 3 and instead lighting one of the engines from the middle 10 ring.
Yeah, we did see one of those engines in
Oh,
the
look at the
middle
hot
ring
staging
shut
ring and
down
purging
during
of the
initial
engines.
ascent.
That's
Oh,
cool.
Looks like we have
Look
hot
at that
stage jettison. You
purging.
can
Oh
see
my
it
god, that's so beautiful.
floating
That's
away
intentional, by
there.
the way.
to the left of the booster.
They're just purging the gases out
Yeah,
of
we
the
did see
engines.
one of those middle engines shut down during the ascent. Again, we are resilient to engine
Oh,
now.
are they? I
on
didn't see that.
Super Heavy.
Starship
That's why
nominal
we're able to get through
trajectory.
our ascent.
Oh my god, it's coming up on the
Starship flying
landing.
on the expected path.
Here we go. Here we go.
There's still
We
a
can-
chance that engine could be back in the mix for the very start of the landing burn, so we'll see if we light up all 13.
Ship is starting
but
to
we've-
roll. I'm not
We've
sure
even
if
done a
that's
landing burn
okay.
at the tower with an engine
Ship
out,
is
so
rolling. Ship is rolling.
very resilient.
It's
We'll
dead.
see how it does on its
Ship
way
is-
down to the Gulf.
I
though.
really hope that's okay.
All right, so we got a couple of minutes. That landing burn start should be
That doesn't look good.
just
That
about
doesn't
40
look good
seconds away.
on ship. I really hope that's okay. I hope that's okay. I hope that's
That's
okay.
always rad.
Oh my god, look at the yeah. Oh my god,
See
look
the
at the
boost plume
aft
itself
end.
in the
That's so
background
cool.
as it was coming in.
Ooh, it's coming in hot. Here we go.
All right, about 20 seconds to landing burn.
Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. It's right
Ship
about now.
Raptor chamber pressure is nominal.
It's right about now. Oh, booster guiding itself. Come on. Light those
All right,
engines,
here we
please.
go.
There. Here we go.
Landing burn startup.
Oh, missing one. Down to
Looks like
3.
we got 12 of those 13.
Ooh.
Down to 3, including one of the middle ring.
Well, look at how much those griffins are rotating. Oh, it actually is working. Yes. Oh wow.
Down to 2.
Down to 2 engines,
Landing burn
Nice
shutdown.
little hover.
and they're gonna now
And landing burn shut down.
and now they're gonna drop the freaking
And
booster.
into the Gulf. Here we come.
And there it is.
And the booster has splashed down.
Yeah. Ship is okay.
Incredible flight for booster
Let's
today.
go. Oh my god. Yes. Yes. We're so
Meanwhile,
back,
back
dude.
in
We're
space.
so back, dude.
About 7 minutes into today's flight, ship continuing its
Let's
ascent
go.
burn. This goes until just about 9 minutes into our flight. That ship engine cutoff is
Woo!
slated
Let's
for
go.
8 minutes and 57
Exciting.
seconds. We are going to see
Excitement
those
is
3
most
RVAC, the Raptor
definitely
vacuum engines.
guaranteed.
Those are the bigger circles in that little indicator on the bottom right of your screen. Those will
Ooh,
shut
now
down
it's the
first,
intense moments,
and
you
we
guys. Now it's
continue Burning
intense.
for a couple seconds longer on those inner 3
I
before
think
we
I'm
hit
feeling good
Seco,
about this. It's gonna be
second
great.
engine cutoff.
Yeah, these views are looking great. Once again, thanks to Starlink for getting us these views. It's just incredible.
think all
We
of
just
them
heard the
have
sound from Booster.
It's like we just got a late boom from the booster.
Not gonna lie, it's rolling a bit. I don't know. It's
Yeah, we have ship engine cutoff coming up here just shortly. And as we mentioned, today's flight test is not an orbital flight, but rather one that demonstrates Starship's orbital
maybe that.
capability.
Starship and terminal guide.
No, it's spinning.
All right, entering the final phase of this burn.
It's
Under
looking
30
good
seconds
actually.
to
Oh,
go.
we're back. We're back. We're back. Yes, we're so back. We're so back. We're so back. Oh my god. Oh my god. Every time I see that little bit of like little,
All right, shut down the
I
vacuum
don't know if you can
engines.
see it, but like vacuum engine shut down. Sea levels next. Oh my god, please just continue burning, man.
Ship engine cutoff.
We shut down those center 3. Successful ship engine cutoff.
We've made it. It's looking way better than Flight
Seco,
7.
baby. There we go. That's what we want.
Nominal orbit insertion.
I think that's looking good. Yeah.
All right, we just heard the call out for nominal orbital insertion.
Yes, here we go. Oh my god. And it's not rolling. That's amazing.
All right, so ship is in space. There we go.
Oh,
Seeing the flaps starting to move into a stowed position. That's why it looks like your camera's moving.
oh that's so cool. I love this
Exciting
camera.
to see Starship safely in space, and super pumped to see all the team's hard work in action here today. And of course, as guaranteed, it's been an exciting day so
Dude,
far.
the 3D
We
overlays are
successfully
so
lifted
good. I
off
love
right
them.
on time at 6:30 p.m. Central Time. Thankfully, our weather was looking good today. Yeah, and Booster, we had our soft splashdown in the Gulf, so
it's kind of
ship continues
spinning
on.
Yeah, ship
in
able to complete its
relation
ascent burn
to
all the
its
way in.
position.
You can see some of the shadows
the
start
overlay,
to creep as
you
it's
can
going
see
to be
there.
eventually flying into an orbital nighttime. So we'll see some daylight start to go away. But ship is in orbit, completed its burn, and
Yeah,
that's just the beginning.
it's
now
rolling, you
we've got
guys.
a whole bunch more to go.
I
So
hope
we've
they
got
use
some
RCS.
exciting
Please use
demonstrations
RCS.
planned while we're on orbit.
FTS is saved. Oh my god, please work
That
this
right there,
time.
we just saved the FTS, the flight termination system. That's that automatic flight safety
Please
system we
work.
have on the
I
vehicle.
beg you.
So that is now turned off while ship starts its coast period.
Oh,
We are coming up. Our next milestone is going to be the deployment of those
oh my god,
Starlink
those I
simulators.
don't know
We've
if
got
that's
some payload
purging,
inside
but
of
I think
Starship
that's
that
purging,
we're
but
hoping
that's
to
kind of
deploy
intensive.
into space for the very first time. That deploy is supposed to start at about 18 minutes and 27 seconds into the flight, so just about 7 minutes from now.
Looking at the
that deploy will
graphic,
take
we
place
are.
over a
I don't
couple
know
of
if
minutes.
it's
It'll go about one
getting
satellite
into
a minute.
position, if
So
you know
we'll
what
be
I
spread out
mean.
over that. It might get a little dark,
But,
but we've got a couple of views that we can show you to see that deploy in action.
Please work.
After that, we're also looking to do
Okay,
a
that
relight
is
of
very
a single
aggressive.
Raptor engine while we are in space. We've done this once before. This is not necessary to deorbit.
Wow, okay, those
as we
are-
in a
that's
suborbital
very aggressive.
trajectory, but this is essentially a chance to test out what we need to be able to do a deorbit burn.
Please
So
put
we'll be
engine
doing
vacam.
that, a
Put
little bit later
engine-
in the flight,
oh
about
my
37
God.
minutes or so into the flight, and then we get into
I
reentry.
hope those are
We're
like
looking to
okay.
get that light show, and more importantly, get that really critical data about the ship's heat shield.
I hope that's
yeah,
just
exactly.
ice.
At about T plus
It
45
might be just
minutes,
ice, you
we'll be
guys.
heading
Everything
for
is good.
reentry. Again, running those experiments with the tiles. We're going to be doing missing tiles, metallic tiles,
Yeah, those
and
are-
also
that is
intentionally
just
loading
ice.
those vehicles' flaps. Hopefully, we'll also see a splashdown in the Indian Ocean today.
Yeah, we were able to get to reentry last time, but we didn't have full attitude control, so we weren't able to go in, heat shield first the way we're designed
Yeah,
to.
that is just yeah.
So we ended up losing contact with the ship
Think
before
that
we
is
could make it all the
just-
way through. So you still get data, but you're not really getting the data
Yeah,
that
from
we
the
want
frost
to
line, I
make
hope.
sure we're kind of stress testing the vehicle. As Amanda just said, we removed a bunch of tiles, and we do this in some intentionally scary places on the vehicle because we're really
Yeah, the
looking.
vehicle is kind of rolling.
Are there
not gonna
spots
lie.
that were vulnerable to this before we ever start moving towards, putting ship into a full orbital mission to then do reentries a little bit later on. So really,
For
really
real, Joe
critical to
Barnard.
get that data. Really looking forward to a controlled reentry.
Yeah, for sure. As we always say, our main payload is data. But today we also have some actual payload on board, and those simulators that Starship will be deploying, we'll see coming up here in just a few minutes. These are dummy satellites that are about the same size as our V3
That's gonna be
Starlinks.
so cool.
We have 8 in the Starship PEZ dispenser and expect to deploy at a rate of about 1 per minute, as Dan mentioned earlier. Starlink is critical in all of our flights on Starship to get our main payload
Is
data,
this
as we always say.
lighting or...
And in fact, it's Starlink that's currently providing
it's
these
like
views you see
sunset.
as Starship cruises a couple hundred kilometers above our home planet and provides real-time telemetry through every phase of flight.
Yeah, we took a peek inside of the Starship payload bay there for a second. So there's 8 of them there. They kind of look just big.
Oh,
steel
maybe they're
plates,
just like
essentially. They're
orientated
roughly
for
the same
payload
size
deploy.
as those V3
If I were to
satellites.
guess, maybe.
When we do get that view inside
It's
of the
kinda
payload
scary
bay,
when
the payload
SpaceX
door will
doesn't,
kind of be
you
on
know,
your right.
Tell, hey,
and
we're
we'll
gonna
start
do
to
this.
see them go
but
out like a PEZ dispenser.
that's gonna be cool,
Yeah,
dude.
here's a look inside. So those right down there in the center,
See
they're
that?
kind of 2 stacks of 4 on either side. And then the payload door is just to their right. And so we'll look to see that open, and then those satellites start to go. We vent the nose cone, so we essentially bring it down to vacuum before we open the door. That was one of the things we ran into on the last flight, as when we had that fuel diffuser fail, the pressure in the nose cone became basically too high for the
What is
actuator of the
that?
door to open. So that's
See,
why we
like,
weren't able
looks
to get
like
the door
it's
open that time.
gases.
We have not seen anything like that on this flight. Everything's looking good with our fuel tank
That
and
is
our fuel
kind
press
of
system.
suspicious
So
smoke.
we are hopefully just a couple of minutes away from
Yeah,
seeing
that is...
payload door open.
I don't know if
Get
that
into
is
our first ever
smoke.
payload. It's not the first payload we've ever carried, but it's the first one we're going to try and shoot off
well.
into space.
Good luck. Good luck like always. Good luck. See that payload?
All right, so I think we're supposed to open the payload door in just about a minute and change.
Okay, here we
And
go.
you're seeing a little bit of residual gas, and we opened the door once. I want to say it was back on flight 3 when we were able to make it up into space, and you'll kind of see a lot of that gas rushing out into the vacuum of space.
okay,
It's the
so that's
residual
okay.
that's left over after we've already vented it down. So kind of a cool light show, and then we'll get ready to deploy
Okay, so
those
it's okay.
payloads out.
This is crazy. Yeah, Starship is skating.
And
out
as
the
we
door.
mentioned, so we
Nice.
have crossed over now at this point into an orbital nighttime. So views from
Yeah.
the outside will get pretty dark, but we'll see what we can see. We do this by design. We've been launching these later in the day here in Texas to try and get daytime views when we splash down. So it's daytime over in the Indian Ocean, where we are currently headed.
Just a few seconds until we expect those payload doors to open.
It's gonna be so cool. I'm feeling it today, guys. Today's the
All right,
day.
one more time. Open the pod bay doors, Hal.
Yeah! Look at that! That's so cool. It worked. Dan is so cool. Look at that. Oh my goodness, that's so cool. Oh my lord, that was...
So
Oh
we are
my god.
currently in payload deploy prep.
And?
And the door is open.
Oh wow. Wow, that's so cool.
All right, so the payload door is open. We should see the first satellite start to deploy at about T plus 18 minutes and 27 seconds. So should be only about 30 seconds. So one step closer. Hal listened this time. He cooperated. He opened the payload door for us. Here's a view kind of behind the Pez. You're looking out into the vacuum of space.
Wow.
About 15 seconds until payload deploy.
Here we go. Oh, get the next camera. Come on. Yeah.
Ship has transitioned to payload deploy.
Could be at any second now. Oh. Hello? Oh, there it is. Here we go. Here we go. Yes!
There we go.
Yeah! Oh? That is crazy. That is so cool. Did they deploy it? Dude, get the above cam. Get the above cam. That is so cool. That is so...
There goes another one.
Dude, that's so cool. Don't hit the Starship. That is so cool. Wow. That's weird, but that's cool,
Super
man.
exciting moment as you can hear the energy in both Hawthorne and Starbase. Everyone's super excited for finally getting to deploy some of those simulated satellites.
That's so cool,
Pez system moving down. Next row. There we go. As we said, we're going to do about one every minute or so.
Oh, hold on. So it is two rows.
This is just kind of a dress rehearsal for when we're going to be deploying the V3 satellites, and these are just a massive, massive increase to Starlink's capability. Each one of them has it's 60 terabits per second of capacity.
I hope they get the above cam
per launch. That's 20 times
more
than what we're adding with every single Falcon 9 launch today, which, you know, step increase in capability. There goes another one.
That is so cool. Oh, it's kind of stuck though. They gonna try again? They are.
Right, so as we said, we've got 8 total that we're gonna go through today. It's about a minute for each one, but
that is crazy. Hold on, is it just like an initial impulse? Yes, keep it on this camera, please, 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 please. Yeah! That is too cool, man. That is so cool. Wow. Oh my god, that is so cool. Dude, look at this system. It's so complex. And they make it seem so easy. Wow. This is insane. And here we go. I think is this the final row? Maybe, no, 2 more rows left. Oh, so it is 2 by time. Yeah. So my render was correct. This is so cool. This is so cool. This is so cool. Oh,
right,
here we go.
So we're about halfway through when we actually start launching the V3 Starlinks on Starship. We're going to be flying about 60 each time, so it'll be about an hour to get through a full stack. But again, it's just going to be a massive increase in the amount of bandwidth. It's going to enable, you know, gigabit upload download for for people with Starlink. You know, anywhere on the
Oh,
planet.
so
And
they
for
use
us,
one to
Starlink
impulse
is
the
just
other?
a tremendous
That
part
is
of
so
just the Starship
smart.
flight test program.
Yeah,
That is so
absolutely. Always
cool.
getting us that data, and yeah, the amazing views we have on the vehicle today.
Here we go. Come on.
Yeah, views brought to you by Starlink of us deploying Starlink simulators before we deploy actual Starlinks.
I love
How
Dan.
deep does it go? All right, another one firing out.
That is so cool. Wow. That is so cool. That is so cool. This goes so hard. Okay, let me reset my camera just so that it doesn't act weird. Oh, here we go, another one. Yeah, there's 2 more left. Okay,
Pez looking
the
smooth
camera should be
today.
turning on any second now, please. Thank you. Yeah, so they do get into that position for deployment. That's interesting. At least I hope. And here we go. That is so cool, man. This is so fun. This is so fun, man. This goes so hard. Dude, look at that.
All right, looks like we've got one left.
Almost there.
Oh, one left? Oh, yeah, right. Here we go. Here's the last one. Thank you, buddy. You did an awesome job. Thank
There you
you.
go, one remaining. So 7 of the 8 have been deployed. 1 more to go.
Here we
and then we will
go.
have completed our first ever payload deploy operation. Just a reminder, we're on a suborbital trajectory. These satellites on that exact same suborbital trajectory, they're going to burn up entirely and are on that same trajectory towards the Indian Ocean. So the
Yeah,
last one has been
that was
deployed.
amazing. Good job, guys. That was
Starlink
amazing.
Simulator payload complete. Heck yeah, everybody.
Loving the energy. from
Look
Starbase
at
and
that.
Hawkeye.
That is amazing. Incredible
Now it's empty.
milestone.
Looking a little lonely, but
Aw.
Successfully deployed all the simulator satellites.
Yeah.
really cool to
Didn't-
see
He,
them
she,
all out
whatever you want to
there.
call it.
Um,
Did a great
again,
job.
people
And
that
next
have
up
followed
is
know
the in-space relay of a Raptor
Starlink's
engine.
really critical
So-
for the Starship program.
At
in
least I
addition
think
to,
so.
getting all those views back from the cameras on Starship, which this is an external view. As I said, it's dark outside right now. The lights are off, so it's going to be hard to make stuff out. But in a little while, the sun's going to start coming up as we get to re-entry, which is going to be really critical. We use Starlink for Starship data. Cameras also use it on the cameras that we use to bring you views of these launches and also, hopefully, of the re-entry and splashdown. We'll see what we get from the Indian Ocean today. And that's just kind of how it all comes together. Like, we're using Starlink on the planet, off the planet. With Starship, we actually get pretty insane. If you're in the space industry, you know bandwidth to space is usually pretty minimal. We get about 120 megabits per second. That's split between our high-definition video and real-time telemetry. We get that every phase of flight, including re-entry. So it's not just giving us views of re-entry, but we're getting all of that engineering data in real time through phases that it used to be impossible to get that in real time. So just really incredible.
Yeah, Starlink definitely affords us all this capability. And reminder, it's the world's largest satellite constellation operating in low Earth orbit to deliver high-speed, low-latency broadband internet. This provides internet access to people all around the world, many of whom had never had connectivity before. Today, Starlink serves more than 150 countries, territories, and other markets, with over 6 million active customers and counting. To meet the growing global demand for high-speed internet, SpaceX expanded its factory in Bastrop, Texas, and also introduced Starlink Mini, as well as an upgraded version of the Starlink Standard kit.
All right, now with payload deploy complete, pew pew pew, Starship is now going to close its payload bay.
I
door
love
and
Dan,
continue
man.
to
He's
coast
such
towards
a
Earth,
go, man.
around
I
Earth.
love him.
Towards the Indian Ocean. Sorry, I'm really excited today. We are in space, people. Still a lot of major events to come, though.
Yeah.
We are looking to relight one of those Raptor engines at about 37 minutes, 33 seconds into the flight, followed by atmospheric entry, hell of a light
10
show,
minutes.
and splashdown. So we're going to go on a quick break, take a quick coast, sit back, enjoy the views. A little bit dark now, but they'll get better soon. A couple of space jams. We'll be back in just a few minutes for that Raptor relight and then re-entry. See you soon.
Yes! 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 Oh my god. This is the Redeemer. Ship 37 is the Block 2 Redeemer. I believe in him. For those that are just joining right now, SpaceX launched Starship on its 10th flight, successfully got to stage separation. The ship made it to Seco once again, and now we've watched the first ever demo deployment on Starship. That was incredible. That was so fun to watch. It was so slow, but so fun to watch. And next up, we should get ready for a in-space relayed Everaptor engine, which will be crucial for when Starship goes to orbit and then wants to, you know, get back to Earth, or even like if you're in a planet's orbit and you want to get back to the planet's surface, you know, you have to deorbit your spacecraft and then get back to it. So if you go to orbit, you need some way of getting back down. So by doing a in-space relayed Everaptor engine, SpaceX is testing that capability with Starship. So when Starship comes online, you know, goes to an actual orbit. Currently it doesn't, goes like to a just shy of orbital velocity. So it's technically suborbital. So once they do those on-orbit demonstration, they will test that capability for when they bring Starship orbital. They have that capability. And of course, this is why they are doing these suborbital tests, is not to risk this. Like, if, you know, imagine if the in-space relay didn't work. Now you have a ship stuck in orbit. I was talking to some friends, and they talked about the Saturn 1 used to do suborbital tests before they integrated for a full on orbital flight. And that's what Starship is doing. This is why they're doing these suborbital flights. This is why they're taking they're taking this approach. Is to not only get physical, not only like, you know, you can do so much with, you know, coding, simulations, you know, that sort of stuff. At some point, you just have to put hardware together, not only to prove to people, hey, we're doing this, but to also kind of get out there and experiment and, you know, actually validate your hardware in the real world. Because as much experiments as we do, there is a limit to what we can, you know, nothing compares to just going out and doing it in the real world. So that's why Starship is doing all of this. And so that then they can actually prove all of the technology and know that, yes, this will work once we put it all together after a few tests. So that's why they're doing these. And it's also just very fun to watch. It's so amazing. If you guys have any questions, you know, chat, I'm open for questions. In just a little bit, we'll have the what is it, 38 minutes into flight. By the way, I'm not sure if I'm gonna stream the rest of Starship, you know, a certain point, you know, all day. But maybe until ship catch, maybe I'll stream that, if that's indeed the next flight. Speculation is that it will, if the ship survives until splashdown. So let's hope maybe ship catch. I mean, I'm not sure, because if they do a booster catch on that flight, oh, the camera's gone. Oh no, it's just the space view. Yeah, that's space. Pure darkness. So yeah, as I was saying, if they recover the booster, so they have pad A, right, where they currently launch from, and if they catch a booster, I don't know if from the time that the ship takes to orbit around Earth, because of course if you're going back to Starbase you have to do a full orbital, so maybe still technically suborbital, but you know, you gotta get around the Earth, more than just from Starbase to the Indian Ocean, like going all the way from Starbase to Starbase. So, or we won't have a booster catch on that flight, or they would have to get Pad B operational, and Pad B, I mean, they don't need the whole system, they just need the chopsticks and tower to work, but from my perspective, I mean, it's SpaceX, but still, I don't know if that would be possible, but you know, SpaceX proved me wrong. I love seeing your rapid iteration, and it's just more cool stuff to watch. As we get here, I am noticing in the 3D graphic, which by the way, SpaceX, you know, I wish you would get like the old UI with the fueling gauges and all of that, instead of just, you know, this thing above the speed or altitude, or I'm not really sure on which one is or not. But I really wish we had the old UI with some of the new features of the new UI, like the map and stuff like that. Maybe do like shrink some stuff down, but add like you don't need as, you know, don't make it as fancy, and make it fancy at the same time that you make it have good technical info. So, but they're just probably keeping this one. Currently, we're seeing a view of the ship's aft. You can see the because of the outline of the 3 center engines and one of those vacuum engines. Here's a view of the right flap, the right forward flap. That's really neat to see. Starship is getting onto a nice path for re-entry, and we are going to the Indian Ocean, which is amazing. Oh my god. I think this is the flight that will redeem Block 2. Yeah. Oh, I should get the live audio. Hold on. No, they're still playing music. In like 2 minutes, I'll turn it on. I just want to make sure I don't get copyrighted. I had an issue with the most recent short that I made. By the way, that's just purging of the aft, so that's normal. I had an issue with my short because I used a service which doesn't allow for you to like keep your license after you cancel your subscription. So I kind of exaggerated on that, and then when I went to upload the short, yeah, it didn't like it, so I had to delete it. And I actually put the song that Ryan Hansen Space used on his booster catch video, because not only I didn't want to repeat like other songs but that I used on past shorts, but also I just wanted to get that short out, to be honest. And it worked, so yeah, go watch it. It's a pretty fun video, it has some very funny jokes, so go watch it. Look, it's T plus 37 minutes. Ship 37.
Deorbit demo.
Okay, here we
gate,
go.
So we should be seeing it momentarily.
Oh, there's the little overlay, as you saw.
Relight demo startup
Here we go. And, oh,
and shutdown.
what? Oh, there.
All right,
Nice.
looks like we confirmed the relight of one of those Center Raptor engines. Second time we've done that. Super exciting.
Nominal
Huge
orbit
congrats
insertion.
to the team on this milestone. Very exciting to see.
That was a cool light show. Yeah, I get to do a mini version here. So again,
Oh,
that's
yeah.
going to be really critical for when we're doing deorbit burns. Like as you're going through, which if you don't have one of these, my God, they're so much fun. But like you're able to actually like light. Oh, Dan, turn it on. Light that engine. Not set my co-host on fire. And that's what we'll eventually do to, break out of orbit, come back down to Earth. So really cool to see one of those engines light back up again in space. That was our last in-space thing.
Very exciting. We're going to be heading back for re-entry at about T plus 45 minutes. So we're going to take another quick break, and we will see you soon.
This is the Block 2 Redeemer, you guys. If you guys don't believe me, then you better believe me. Kadobi, could you make an edit of me, like, just reacting to this? I'll pay you, like, $0. Shouts out to Kadobi and the airplane specialist. This is so cool. This is really cool. Starship is so cool. Should make a podcast with my friends to talk about space. Dude, I have so many things to do. I'm not gonna make more things. By the way, we're losing signal, and that's because we're now entering over an area which doesn't have some stuff. So we should be getting close to re-entry. Also, I'm noticing a few things on that flap. So I'm kind of feeling this is going to be like Flight 4, where Ship 39 landed successfully, but with one damaged flap. Let's see what happens here. You can see actually on the little overlay on the bottom right, yeah, the second one, the more to the left, with the ship with the flaps retracted and kind of going there. Dude, this is looking so good. It's really looking good, you guys. Block 2 is so cool. I love it. Now I love Block 2. Look at that. Ship 37 is my goat. You guys like and subscribe my Patreon. We're getting 80% off the Patreon, so. What was that? Do not scare me, please. Is that like initial re-entry? Oh, hold on, that's purging. I think that's purging. Hold on, are they? Yeah. I think it's purging of the line of the aft, so that's good. You guys like my Patreon. This is going well. Dude, I get so many notifications on twitter.com. Dude, this John Krause photo goes so hard. Oh, wow. That goes so hard. Dude, John Krause should be an official photographer for SpaceX. That is crazy good. Things are looking good, you guys. Dude, I'll tell you, if Joe Barnard were to stream this launch, I would not stream it. You guys would go there. That's Joe Barnard's stream is my stream. Powered by Starlink. Incredible. Yeah, you can see some of that. That's that is. Hold on. No, that's re-entry. Yeah. Those look a bit green. Yeah, we're starting to get re-entry. Oh my god. Okay, you can see that on the towards your right. You can see that flap is not having the best of time. This is going to be the little flap that could on ship 39. Hold on. Why did they have egg? E3? E6? Oh, yeah. Oh my god, did they? I've never noticed that. That's crazy. Oh my god, I love the little dragon too. That's so cute. It's shaking is kind of like freaking me out. But it's like it's kind of like cool because it's like I'm Starship, I'm cool, I'm powerful. It's crazy. It's going well, you guys. Oh, hold on. Do I have commentary? Ooh, one of the legendary SpaceX songs. I'm not gonna play that. I don't want to get copyrighted, you guys. We'll play the song in a little bit. Re-entry has definitely started. You can see some of that plasma there. That's red. Can you guys put the upper flap cam? Guys, in my short, I talk about these like tiles on the aft flaps. I'm not sure what they are for. They're probably Lewis did mention me. By the way, Lewis, the 3D artist, one of the goats, at least he's a great friend of mine. He got some suspicions on what these could be. I don't remember them off the top of my head. It's 1 a.m. in the morning. Joe Barnard asks on Twitter, chat, are we back? I think we are. I think we are. Block 2 is not cursed anymore. Look at that beauty. Oh, please give me the aft flaps. Or was it cooked? Dude, look at that plasma. It's so beautiful. Today is that day, you guys. I'm feeling it. This is gonna be amazing. Oh, wow. Okay, we're so back.
Side of the spacecraft that blocks all of your signals that are trying to fight through to talk to either satellites out in space or towers down on the ground. Starship's big size kind of gives us awake, but what really helps us punch through is the fact that we're using Starlink. We're operating at just a much higher frequency. That's not what we want to see. So we just saw some of the aft skirt just take a hit.
Ooh.
So we've got some visible damage on the aft skirt. We're continue to re-enter though. And again, we are intentionally stressing the ship as we go through this. So
right. I forgot about that.
It is not guaranteed to be a smooth ride down to the Indian Ocean. We've removed a bunch of tiles in kind of critical places across the vehicle. So seeing stuff like that is still valuable to us. We are trying to kind of push this vehicle to the limits to learn what its limits are as we design our next version of Starship. So 47 minutes, 45 seconds into the flight. Excitement ticking up a little bit on reentry already, but the
It's
light show
already
is
way better than
continuing.
the previous flight.
This reentry is going to take about 20 minutes or so until our planned splashdown. We were trying to splash down about 1 hour and 6 minutes into the flight.
Not gonna lie, that's kind of beautiful.
Yeah, and one day Starship is designed to land on Mars where there are obviously no runways or other humans to help us out. So we are doing propulsive landing instead of more traditional means such as parachutes. And propulsive landing enables us to have more rapid reusability with these vehicles.
Yeah, the ship itself, it's a little over 50 meters tall. We've got those 6 engines on board, the 3 vacuum, the 3 sea level, and they're down in that aft skirt region, which
flaps have control.
Flaps have control of the vehicle. Oh, wow.
right, so at
Okay,
this
that
point,
took
the
a hit.
flaps have control. That means we're getting into a dense enough part of the atmosphere that the flaps can start controlling us. We're not only relying
Yes, this
on those kind
camera.
of reaction
Go-
control system
goated.
thrusters.
We're going to continue hearing some call-outs
That
as the
plasma
ship
looks
makes
so
its
good.
way back
It's
to
just
Earth.
still
So when
there.
we
It's
hear
like
entry max
nothing. It's
heating
like
and
only
entry
the
max Q,
top part.
that will mean the ship has made it through the maximum heating and aerodynamic loads it will experience as it returns. So if it makes it through those, we can say we're doing pretty well.
I will say I'm happy re-entry cleaned off this camera for us. It was a little dirty from the weather, so thank you, Plasma, for giving us this view as we start coming down.
Space Twitter is going wild, you
The
guys.
hit we saw to the skirt, definitely interesting. I will note, when we started doing these missing tile tests, we were intentionally removing them only in
Thank
the
God
skirt,
they.
is that's,
Oh wow.
you know, that's not over your fuel tanks or anything else. That's kind of structurally critical for keeping the entire vehicle together. That obviously exposes your engines, so that could do some things for our landing burn. But for now, we are obviously continuing with this reentry. We are committed. Indian Ocean, here we come. 50 minutes since launch. We're going to see
I wonder
those
what
colors
is
start
that.
to build up a little bit. We are at the point where we're in dense enough atmosphere that the flaps have control. So about 74 kilometers in altitude.
Rough ride.
And you were starting to see some sunlight, so we intentionally time these launches right now so we have daylight. The sun should actually come up over the horizon on Starship in about 3 minutes. So as we
Some
get a little bit
green,
further into this reentry, that inky black below you is going to start to look like clouds and hopefully a bright blue ocean as we make our way down onto the other side of the planet.
Oh, yeah, this is going to be the little flap that could of Starship.
We've got these cameras. These cameras are really cool. We added these several flights ago, looking directly at the flaps as not just the heat shield, but these flaps, how they're able to control the vehicle, withstand that reentry, the seal locations, so kind of where they connect to the ship itself are some of the most critical. We will do missing tiles on those where, again, we're trying to, we're kind of being mean to this Starship a little bit. We're really trying to put it through the paces and kind of poke on what some of its weak points are. I mean, we even have missing tiles over some of those fuel tank
That is beautiful, not gonna lie. Like
itself.
the contrast
So
of the pink with the
really trying to
blue
see
and
what
the
are our limits.
green
We're doing
and the
this over
yellow
a completely
and the red.
empty area
too.
over the Earth.
Beautiful.
Look at our Raptors there. We are, assuming we make it all the way down to the ocean in one piece, we will attempt a flip and a landing burn.
It's gonna be crazy.
We do have at least one buoy, everybody's favorite camera person, out in the Indian Ocean right now, being powered by Starlink. So that's
When
at
it's
our
landing?
planned landing location. So if we're able to get any live views of the ship, that'll essentially tell you that we nailed our target. Able to do that on
1 hour
our
and
6
6
flight
minutes
test, do it in the
and
daytime, which was really exciting.
30 seconds. Let's see. Not gonna lie, it's looking great so far. Considering all the, the damage that SpaceX did to the ship, kind of
Right,
on
so we're
purpose to
about
stress it
10
out?
minutes until we're probably going to start hearing some of the other big milestones coming up.
Yep, in about 10 minutes, like
Oh,
Dan
hold on. They
said,
have the
Starship will be
metallic
transonic.
tiles. There's Earth.
This is going to be
Nice.
the
They're
period of
landing on
flight
the
where the velocities
landing
of
daytime.
airflow surrounding and flowing past the vehicle are concurrently below, at, and above the speed of sound, so somewhere in the range of Mach 0.8 to 1.2. For reference, commercial jets have a range of cruising speeds, but most of them fly at speeds between Mach 0.74 and Mach 0.85, so that's 480 to 575 miles per hour or 770 to 930 kilometers per hour.
Oh,
And
my
after
camera just
transonic
died.
comes
Hold
subsonic.
on.
That just means you're
Getting
slower
back.
than the speed of sound. We're still well in excess of that right now. But by the time we hit subsonic, we're essentially belly flopping down. There we go. There's that sunlight. So we're seeing the Earth now come back into view.
Starship is kind of spinning.
One of the other
not
things
gonna
we're
lie.
doing during this, and you're going to see Starship
it?
kind of pitch in some pretty, not extreme ways, but
Oh,
a little
okay.
extreme, as we're trying to really stress the structure of the ship itself, specifically those aft flaps.
Yeah.
So the
Oh,
ones
right.
at the
I
very
forgot.
bottom of the vehicle. We're pushing not just how well does the heat shield hold up, but how well does the ship structure.
Dude, we're
hold
coming up to
We are-
Australia.
I mean, we
Hello,
are pushing
Marcus
it
House. Hello,
beyond
Gilmore
essentially what we
Space.
think we'll have to fly at
Gilmore
to
Space is
do
good.
something like a return to launch site. So again, may not be a very smooth ride downhill, but we're doing that by design. We're really trying to find what are the edges that we can operate at, build up a good data set. But sun is up, clouds and water down below us. We are just about 10 minutes away, a little less than 10 minutes now, until we start hitting transonic and then subsonic. Once we hit subsonic, we're basically just belly flopping.
Yeah, this kind of reminds me of Flight 4. Not gonna lie. Oh, G-force indicator. Let's go. I'd love to see the map too, though. Oh my god, it's looking so good, you guys. Not gonna lie, I'm kind of like the sleeping thing is kind of hitting me, but dude, with Starship, you can't sleep, bro. It's too cool.
All right, so about 55 and
Dude,
a
it's
half
looking
minutes in, you can
good
see the sun is
from
up.
this
Again, we
perspective.
intentionally designed these flights to lift off in the evening here so we get these daylight views so we can get as good a video as possible on the ship, assuming we make it all the way down. We've got at least one buoy powered by Starlink that's out there in the landing zone in the Indian Ocean, hopefully giving us a view again. If you see any live views, not from the ship itself, that means we nailed our landing target.
Starship is past peak heating.
All right, we just heard the call out that we're past peak heating, so things are looking good so far.
Oh,
Looking good.
yeah, this is the block 2 Redeemer.
And at
Ship
this point, again,
37,
the flaps
got
are
it.
controlling. So this movement you're seeing is that forward flap moving to try and just maintain control, maintain attitude of the vehicle as we're coming down.
It's just by using the clouds as a reference, you can just see. Look at the speed at which it's traveling. 18,000 kilometers per hour. That's
we got
crazy.
One of these cameras on all four of the flaps.
And it's
two in the
slowing
front, two in
down
the back,
even.
giving us really good close-up views.
Oh my god, look at that heat shield,
As
bro. That is so
We obviously don't have a
cooked and
camera that can see the
toasted
entire
slash
heat
good.
shield. These give us kind of the best that we can do. But looking at those flaps is really, those are just, super critical for controlling the ship. You have some ability to maneuver kind of cross range. So as you're coming in, you can see in that indicator at the very bottom right that we've pitched up quite a bit. So again, we are maximally stressing those aft flaps right now. Looks like we got a little bit of burn through the very bottom part of it.
Looking good.
Everything's still looking good. Ship maintaining control.
Come on, dude. You can do this.
We should be just about 5 minutes away until we hear that we're transonic.
We're like less than 10 minutes away. We're like 8 minutes away from it actually like landing. It's going so well. And still, this is the best Block 2 flight. Like, obviously. Dude, it's going... Oh, look at... Yeah, this is the little flap that could. Not gonna lie. Yep, there it goes. Oof. You can just see it from there. It's hanging on tight.
A little bit toasty on the aft skirt of the vehicle as we continue coming in.
But it's looking great.
Again, we are intentionally stressing the flaps so we can learn all we can.
Look at that.
Right,
Look
so
at one
now
of those like this one
well
right here.
past peak heating.
That's crazy. Crazy hot.
Just about 48, 49, counting down to 48 kilometers in altitude. Expecting that transonic to come, so transitioning between the speed of sound and subsonic slower than the speed of sound in just a little under 4 minutes from now.
This is great. It's
right now
working.
we've got kind of a lot of forward momentum, a lot of forward velocity, and then eventually by the time we hit subsonic.
Maximum entry
Right, here we
dynamic
go. So
pressure.
this is what we've been talking about, where we are going to
Peak
essentially try
heating
to
and
fully
maximum
deploy those
entry
aft flaps
dynamic
and
pressure
really
is
stress
different,
them
of
out.
course.
So again, this is meant to test the
Oh
extremes
wow!
for the vehicle.
It survived. Oh, now they're gonna go a little bit crazy on it. No, no, no. Go gently on it. Go gently on it. Enough. No.
All right. See those flaps swinging
It's
out?
actually working,
Again, we are
dude. Starship is
putting
so
ship
cool.
through the ringer on this flight in.
They passed the stress part. Okay,
Looks like we're
take it
still
all back.
maintaining
Starship
control.
Block 2 is goated. This is getting to landing burn. This is getting to landing burn. I bet you eating a jar of
Flaps
Vegemite,
earning their
to be
paycheck
honest.
today, getting through.
I
kind of
bet
that
you a
max
jar of
stressing.
Vegemite, like eating like one like toast here on stream.
Definitely things looking good so far. We're about 2 minutes out now from Starship becoming transonic.
One cool thing to note as we get some of those views showing kind of the whole length of the
Not
ship.
promising, huh?
One of the
Don't-
changes
don't
we
start
made
cutting
after
each other
Flight
off.
6 was
Eat,
to
you know?
change the tile line a
I
little
don't
bit.
want to
So
eat
we had
Vegemite
kind of
today. I'm not gonna
scaled
eat
back the
Vegemite
number of
anymore.
tiles significantly. As when we go to catch these ships, you don't want to. I think as Elon said, you don't want to shuck the ship as you catch it and knock all those tiles off. So we knew we were going to have to kind of peel back that layer a little bit. And the first time we did it was on Flight 6, and we saw kind of wrinkling and dimples almost in the ship as we were creating these hot spots in the uneven parts of the heat shield. And
That
so
is so
we
cool. Look at that discoloration right
kind
there.
of addressed that. We smoothed it out. That's why you've got kind of
Right
that
there.
nice smoothed
That's
out
so
black
beautiful.
line now on the ship. And just looking at it, we can see kind of a little bit of hot spot, a little bit of warping almost.
Yep.
Near the payload door, you can see a little bit of colored patina up above it, but we don't see those kind of deep, almost, they almost look like gouges on that. So it looks like that's been pretty successful. So, all right, we are less than a minute away from hitting transonic. Again, pretty soon our kind of our forward velocity
Doing
is gonna
so
look like
well.
it's
I'm
kinda
so
falling off a cliff,
surprised.
and
Oh my
Starship
god,
will
Block
look
2
like
is
it's
so
falling off a
goated.
cliff as we essentially go into our belly flop. If you watched some of the high altitude tests or suborbital campaigns, we were able to test that. It was a pretty fundamental, like, can this thing actually fly? And we were able to prove that
It's
out.
going
with
to
that
Australia,
suborbital
you guys.
campaign.
We're landing in
And
Australia.
that's what we're about to see shortly here.
It's going from supersonic to subsonic. Dude, look at how much. This is basically a lifting body. They can use the surface area of that front side to just dissipate all of that
All right,
velocity.
so at this point,
And now they're going to
drop
start
below the speed of
pitching
sound, so
down.
Starship itself is subsonic.
In about 3 minutes, we're going to see this thing
We are
land.
starting to chill the engines for a landing burn attempt.
This is going to go
Landing flip supposed
really
to
well.
start in a little over 2 minutes. Subsonic Indian Ocean, we're on our way.
Starship is subsonic.
Everyone is so impressed.
There we go.
Subsonic, here we go.
Farewell, space.
We're so back, dude. We're so back.
All right, so coming up in just a little under 2 minutes, so we're going to do the flip and the burn. So we're only using those 3 center Raptor engines, the sea levels, the ones that can kind
Ooh.
of gimbal, that can move around and steer.
A little bit of pitch down.
Dipping the
That's
nose down
good.
a little bit.
Starship is so cool, dude. Yeah, they pitched down a little bit too much and then came
2
back
of
up
our
just
engines
fine.
chilled in, waiting on 1 more. So again, we'll attempt to use 3 burns for that initial flip. We eventually go down to just 2 Raptors for the end of the landing
1
burn.
minute left for that landing. Oh my god. This is getting real, you guys.
Just about 1 minute now from that landing flip and landing burn start.
Dude, this is so good. We're so back, dude. Oh my god, look at that camera. Oh, kind of toasted. You did well, buddy. Thanks for the ride. The visual
Structurally, we're
ride on
looking
this.
good. Got good pressures in our nose cone for everything.
Yeah, they have to pull from the headers, so let's hope that
About
works.
30 seconds.
30 seconds, here we go.
Yeah, we're gonna look
Passing
for the flip.
clouds.
So Starship's doing its belly flop right now. We're going to do the flip. Swing out. Let's punch through some clouds first.
Must be right now. Here we go. Do it, do it, do it, do it, do it, do it, do it.
Here we go.
Starship landing burn startup.
Oh, here we go. Oh, it's
Seeing
looking
3
good.
engines. There's our flip.
Oh, from the buoy. Yeah.
There's a buoy.
Oh my
There's a splashdown.
Please do not blow up. Oh my god, what an exciting end.
Hey.
Oh my goodness, they did it.
Oh, man. Yeah, farewell, Ship 37. Thank you, buoy cam. Landing flip, landing burn, splash out of the Indian Ocean. There we go. Whew. All right.
Wow, what a night.
That was pretty awesome.
Incredible
This is
flight
cool, right?
today for both ship and booster.
Yeah, really incredible. So obviously we're excited here. It looks like everybody's excited over there. Tyler, how's it going over in Hawthorne?
We are super excited here in Hawthorne. It was another exciting Starship flight test in the books, and we hope you enjoyed those Starlink views. So congratulations to the team at Starbase and everyone here and around the company. So many employees have contributed enormously to the Starship program as we continue to iterate and make progress towards a multi-planetary future. So that's going to wrap it up for us here in Hawthorne. Thank you to everyone for tuning in today. It was it was great being with you today. Back to you guys.
That was absolutely incredible. Huge congrats to all the teams here.
Dude, that was
Again,
incredible.
we lifted off from Starbase Texas right at the top of our window at 6:30 p.m. Central Time. We saw Booster successfully lift us up through ascent, had a successful hot staging where ship continued on with its suborbital trajectory. Booster came back down, had that boost back burn, and a successful landing burn with that
was
unique
awesome.
engine configuration as well.
Yeah, that ship continued on its way, made it all the way into space. We got to see first ever payload deploy.
So exciting.
That was awesome. We got the door open, 8 Starlink simulators deployed, relit that Raptor engine, and then on entry, we probably gave it a little bit of extra time in the oven, but made it all the way through re-entry. All 3 engines started up, landing flip, splashdown in the Indian Ocean. Promised maximum excitement. Starship delivered.
Most
so
definitely.
Congratulations,
wow,
all of our
this
teammates here at SpaceX.
Amazing.
It's been a year. Everybody that's worked on this program, this is what we're working for. So big congrats to all of them. Thank you to all of our future customers too for your support.
And we'd also like to thank the fine people of Cameron County, including the residents of its newest city, Starbase, as well as the Coast Guard, the Federal Aviation Administration, the Government of Mexico, and the Australian Space Agency.
Be sure to stay tuned to SpaceX on X for updates, more of the views. This is just a tiny amount of the views. We have so many views that we didn't get to feature on the broadcast, so we're going to be going through that over the next couple of days, and we'll be posting it all there.
Yeah, if you're interested in more launch coverage, head on over to spacex.com/launches for the most up-to-date information. In fact, we actually recently rolled out a new departure board featuring our upcoming launches with details like mission name, launch and landing site, and liftoff time. So be sure to check it out.
All right. We just launched the world's biggest rocket. Again, dropped a couple satellites off, suborbital.
Incredible payload deploy for today.
Nailed that double header into the ocean, splashdown, time to go through the data. Really crazy cool to hit all those objectives today.
Yeah, huge shout out to all the teams who make this look easy. And thanks to all of you for tuning in, and we will see you back here for Flight 11. Good night.
Yeah, let's go, dude. We're so back. Cheers to SpaceX. You guys, that was insane, dude. Oh, wow. I am still over the moon by that. They launched at the top of their window. And they took off tiles of the ship and it still survived. And you could see, I have no words. I have one word and it's to say congratulations, SpaceX, for yet another amazing test flight. I don't know. After Flight 7, Flight 8, and yeah, Flight 9. I told you this was going to be Flight 4 of Starship Block 1, but in Block 2. Again, we're seeing the thing of we're seeing that thing of, Block 2 following the iteration steps of Block 1, which is just insane to me. I have no more words. Wow. That was incredible. Again, huge shout outs to the SpaceX team. Congratulations. On a successful flight. We saw the explosion at the end, but we didn't even know if the ship was going to survive all the way towards the Indian Ocean. I'm going to end this stream soon because I have some stuff that I want to do and also talk about with my friends with this launch. What a day. It was worth it. This third time's the charm too. So for those that are just joining, Starship just launched at the top of the window from Starbase Texas. Beautiful ascent. Booster performed great. Hot staging. The booster did another directional flip. thanks to some reinforcement, like some steel, like a steel plate added to one of those vents of the hot staging, which was covered. Also, beautiful landing burn. The booster did its used like a backup engine, so it relit all 13 engines. Then it went just to the center 2 instead of 3, and then used 1 to complete that with a backup from the middle ring. So amazing test flight, and they literally just dropped that into the ocean. That was planned, so that went well. Ship pushed it over the limits. Oh, hold on, no, they deployed the Starlink satellites, which was, again, kind of slow but fun to watch. That was really fun. And first like 10, the next few like maybe 20 missions, it's gonna be like, oh my god, and then it's gonna start to get boring. But for now, it's just amazing. What else? In space relight Raptor engine. We have some little burn through on one of the flaps in kind of the skirt area, but ship survived all the way through splashdown. They did the landing burn. The ship, landed. Then just when they fell backwards, it's kind of a little bit too much for the ship. It's too much force, and then the ship kind of blew up. I presume by the as we saw with the Flight 6, by the payload bay section. But this felt really like Flight 6, to be honest. Well, anyways, congratulations SpaceX for an amazing launch. Block 2, Ship 37 has redeemed Block 2, and I now consider Block 2 my favorite. Maybe I still like Block 1 a little bit better. No, they were both in parallel. Can we like 2 things at the same time, for God's sake? Come on, man. They're cool. Anyways, I'm gonna end the stream so I can work on some other stuff, chat with my friends about this insane launch. And yeah, I don't know when's the next stream about. Maybe it's probably gonna likely be Starship, or yeah, because I don't know if I plan to stream future Starship launches for this much, because it all depends on the views and stuff. I do this not only for fun, but also for content's sake. So if these live streams don't get a ton of views, then I don't think it's worth putting out there, because it will just make my channel look a bit weird. But I'll continue posting the shorts. Hope you guys like that. But yeah, what an incredible flight. I mean, again, congratulations to the SpaceX team. To be fair, it did exceed my expectations of this launch, so huge congratulations to them. So yeah, that's gonna be it for today. We weren't able to bring again live views from Starbase because Airplane Specialist is on vacation. We do have some remote cameras, some remote GoPros there, so hopefully soon after in a few days we'll be able to release some footage from those, which should be very nice. They're not in slow motion because the slow motion didn't turn out. He went there for Flight 8 and the slow motion didn't turn out really good. It was low quality and stuff, so it's all nice, I think it's 4K that he put those cameras on, 4K 30 or 60, I don't remember, FPS, and they're all scattered in a nice unique placement, strategic places to get some very cool shots. So some wide angles from all around Starbase, so it's gonna be cool. Hope they recorded some awesome stuff. So yeah, anyways, I'm off, you guys. This was so fun, and once again, congratulations SpaceX on a successful flight test of Starship. Finally, Block 2 is redeemed by Ship 37. Hope next launch will bring even more excitement to the table, but man, this flight was already too excited. To be honest, it was too much of excitement, but it was awesome. As always, thank you guys so much for watching. Like and subscribe and do all that stuff. Check out my Patreon if you like to support my 3D artwork, creating the most realistic and detailed stuff I can possibly make. And new Starship models are coming soon. I will get the time to model those. Also working on a new video about Eris, the Australian rocket that recently launched from Bowen. So I'm working on that video. So I'm gonna continue to work on that later. I guess for me, kind of tomorrow / later today. I'm gonna sleep now, but I'm gonna watch. Gonna hang out with my friends for like 3 billion hours until like 6 a.m. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. My name is Kion. Congratulations, SpaceX, and can't wait to see next Starship test flight onwards to Mars. Thank you guys for watching. Bye. See you next time.